I am all in for Ancient Tribe right now. I cannot believe that Nande had so much faith in Jug. That being said, after all the trash I've talked, it's only going to be fitting for him to go like 20-0, hard carry this game and make us look like idiots with the Juggernaut.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess the thing is, a lot of the good carries got banned out as well. Jug was the only one that was really left. So, I mean, he's trying to make the best of a bad situation, and this smoke could be a bad situation.
He's forced into a very early spin right now, trying to run down Waiter. He needs to get out of here, though. Merlin very low on the HP. They're going to chase down the Shadow Demon because he's a very easy kill. Waiter secures the first blood with the Wild Axes. And Fluke, you know, you and I haven't been casting together for that long, right? You and I started casting together at TI. And so we did TI, we did some Div 1, we've done some Div 2. Have we ever seen this early smoke running high ground into Radiant side pay off?
No, it's the thing is like it's so ballsy as well, because you're expecting them to not think that you're going to do that when you like look at their heroes. Their level 1 heroes are pretty good, but also level 1 heroes from Ancient Tribe are not bad either. Techie's level 1 is great, Beastmaster level 1 is great, and same with Timber. So I think that was them expecting that maybe Alex as well as Wuta were just going to be kind of minding their own business, just dawdling around and getting themselves a watcher. But yeah, it just has not paid off. Yeah, that's rough.
Well, that's not the way you want to start your game off. Of course, Ancient Tribe will get themselves the additional bonus gold. Went the way of Waiter. Mobe didn't have to commit all that much, and he didn't over level into like Timber Chain or whatever. So he still has the Whirling Death level 1. From what I've seen, this should be a fairly Timber favored matchup. I don't anticipate Void Spirit being able to stand up to what Mobe is able to accomplish in this lane.
Yeah, especially because it's like the Void Spirit usually likes to chip away a lot of these melee heroes with Resonant Pulse and just getting these auto attack trades, but Timber's going to trade with you with Whirling Death, and that means that you're going to reduce your damage, and then you're going to take damage because pure damage through the shield. So it means that Mobe is going to be able to constantly kind of circumvent any of the issues that melee heroes usually have against Void Spirit. So, as I said, this is Supreme's by and far best hero. I think he's had some really standout performances as of late on it. So I'm hoping that he has some big stuff. But Mobe is, I mean, he's one of those players here in Div 2 that I'm a big fan of, and I know you are as well. And the way that he plays when he gets his heroes, his Timber, his Viper are two that really come to mind. He dominates games. And if you have somebody like Mobe dominate a game like this on a Timber, oh boy, Into the Breach might be looking at game number 2.
Well, ITV will certainly need to make sure that they get themselves off to a good start in these lanes. Down bottom, they have the Magnus and the Shadow Demon, but they are taking on PL Silencer. Eventually, one nice thing about this draft with the PL is that they do have Shadow Demon, so you do at least have some option to get some of these PL illusions. Overall, though, my dude, I just want to spend a second thinking about how crazy this little play PL could be in this game. Top lane, Nande and them do get off to a bit of a better start, killing off Alex. So Nande gonna be on course to make us look dumb. He sort of has to buy Battle Fury this game, right? I do not want to see any other build. Juggernaut, please, dude, just rush Battle Fury. You're playing into PL. You have no other option.
Yeah, I think the only other small option would be maybe Maelstrom, but I don't think Maelstrom's that great on Juggernaut these days, just because I think a lot of his early game prowess has really been nullified by a lot of these universal heroes because of how tanky they get and how much damage they do. That like if you're trying to fight early with like Maelstrom plus like a Yasha, like you just don't feel like you're doing enough. And this hero really kind of just needs to play really slow, and obviously he's playing into a PL, so as much cleave as possible is exactly what he needs. And I mean, Battle Fury plus and power inside of an RP, like this PL will die, but the thing is how does the game state look when they're having those fights? Like, is it where PL is 1 to 2 items ahead of the Juggernaut, or is the Juggernaut on parity? Because that's a big thing for Jug, is he needs to make sure that he's at a point where he's winning these fights with like an item advantage, because going into PL, it's going to be hard for him to kill him, especially if he goes like the tanky build with like Heart plus Guardi. It's going to be hard for Jug to cut through that much HP and armor with just Omni Slash.
I just want him. I don't care what he builds second, but as long as his third item is Nullifier, I'll be happy. Definitely need a Nully in this game. You actually can't play this game without one. So
probably needs a Blink as well. I think, from Nande. I think he needs to be aggressive with these Omni Slashes and to try and find some of these other heroes. Like, they've got good jump and good catch, but if he's, like, slowly meandering into a fight and just gets roared before, like, he's able to connect with the RP, like, the thing is, like, he needs to kill somebody inside of RP and Omni Slash, and I think that's the big thing for me, and if he doesn't get that connection, and the RP goes sideways from Zube, and they just don't catch too many cores with it, then I think these team fights can be very rough, because the PL can just kite you out.
Yep. All right, Nande, no problem, buddy. You just need a Blink, Manta, Abyssal Blade, Nullifier, Battle Fury. Easy game, bro. No worries.
Yeah, easy. Very simple. I mean, when you spell it out like that, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, man. Like, you just build some items and you win the game. Yeah. Pretty straightforward. I don't know how these carry players are playing.
He's so low on the HP. He needs to be careful here. Could very much end up dead. We also saw his counterpart in the mid lane also really struggling. Dude, Supreme, like, I know we mentioned that Mobe should have an advantage here, but this is a little bit obscene. 11 CS above him, 9 denies ahead, and the situation doesn't seem to be getting better anytime soon. This mid lane is going awfully. The top lane is going fine for the Jug, but he's under so much pressure. It's always underneath the tower. And bottom PL is free farming, basically. Man, I would love to be Ancient Tribe in this game 1.
Yeah, and this is what I talked about, right? Mobe is one of those players that is going to...
Is he actually going to get the solo kill? Oh my god.
Oh,
what a player, dude. Dude, he actually now has 6 and the enemy has 5. This Voice Bird can't come back. He actually can't come back, mid.
No, he can't. He needs a rotation, and then you realize, oh wait, my supports are Shadow Demon and Rubik. Like, their rotations actually don't mean squat. So this is the issue, and this is why, like, I don't want to harp on single picks, but I would have loved a Mirana for them. Like, I would have loved a Mirana, like, coming out of Interface, or even like a Wind Ranger. Like, it gives you a bit of flexibility, just gives you a hero that can gank and actually deal some damage for you. Like, Shadow Demon's just not going to be the hero that's going to do it for you.
Nande in the top lane trying to get some activity on the map, but sadly, once spin ends, well, I would like to say I'm surprised by seeing Juggernaut get bodied in the laning phase, but I've lost enough MMR on this hero to see that this is exactly how it goes. Jug is dead, Waiter just doing his thing. You know what the biggest flex of this entire game is? The fact that Waiter, with all the net worth he's gotten, went for first item arcade boots on the Beastmaster, dude. No help, no nothing. He's just like, I don't actually need sustain in this lane. He might get punished for this though. Nande has spin, they have the lift back, and okay. Waiter does get punished for this, was a little bit too far forward. At the same time though, on the other side of the map, we do lose the Shadow Demon. However, ITB just happy to get something, but Alex goes in at the blast off, finishes off Respect. So even when they get something, it still costs something from the side of ITB.
Yeah, a little bit over aggression there from Wuto. He was just a little bit too far forward, but I like the arcane boots, right? Because he's playing with the Techies. Techies is a hero that loves mana, and they want to stay in the lane, and that's a big thing for this lane combination. Is they're such lane dominators that they want to force the Jug to stay here for as long as possible. Jug doesn't go early to the jungle because it's hard for him to jungle until he has some of those items, like, you know, maybe he gets his cornucopia and that's when he's able to jungle. But Jug can't jungle too early. Maybe it pays the price again.
The first rotation from Supreme emerges in this game with a double damage rune in tow. This is the best move he could possibly have made. Given how hard he's being bodied middle, normally you see these Timbers play mid. The one drawback of these heroes when they're dominating the lane is that their play potential is to just cut waves, take the tier 1 tower middle instead of moving around. So Supreme understanding exactly where he needs to be on the map. That's going to get him a little bit of a leg up, even though he's still being dominated in the net worth discussion by the Mobe Timber.
Yeah, Mobe's just going to get a whole lot more out of this lane because he's able to get the lane creeps, whereas Supreme's going to try his best with rotations of action runes and using that first one in the rotation. I think it's very important for a lot of these mid laners because of the way that power runes go on like a very fixed rotation. You need to make sure that, like, especially like DDs and haste, I think are super important if you get them like first or second, that you utilize them early game to be able to get some kills because they're not going to come back for a while. And you know you don't want to have a moment in the game where you need to make a gank, but you just get like a shield rune or an illusion rune, and you're like, well, this kind of sucks. So yeah, good first use.
Oh, Supreme pops another rune. It's a haste this time around. He'll utilize it to escape away from the silencer and Mobe. You should be A-okay with the Shadow Demon waiting in the wings, ready to render aid if needed. The one lane we haven't really spent much time talking about is down bottom, where Low Pleb and Shibe, the two of them are playing around each other. Magnus is one of the shining lights of the ITB lineup so far, having a phenomenal early game. Tons of net worth, has his Vanguard. Merlin doesn't have to play with him. And honestly, I think this is good enough right now that Low Pleb, without the items that he needs on PL, there's no Manta yet, there's no Heart. He's actually struggling to play this side of the map, but they're going to get more gold possibly, and they maybe want to kill Merlin. Disruption will be there. Shibe has RP if needed, will skewer up to the high ground. Mobe try to leave here with the Timber Chain, but Respect says, no buddy, I've got telekinesis. You're staying here, you're getting killed. And to make matters even better here, Fluke, Supreme is the one that gets the kill. That is a much needed gold injection for him.
Yeah, sick rotations from Into the Breach. They understood that the first 9 minutes really didn't go their way, but as you said, the one guy who really is having a good lane is going to be the Magnus. Like, it's a pretty easy lane for Mag. You just go into the Vanguard and the PL doesn't touch you for a long time, and you've always got the Empower to outlast hit him. So it is a good rotation from Zubair to be able to get that kill from Mobe, who was, I think, overstepping his bounds a little bit. Like, you're in the enemy triangle. You don't really see too many people on the map. They've only really got a ward mid. Like, you saw that Zube walked from bottom into somewhere in that area, and maybe he thought he was a little bit tankier than what he was, but good rotations all around from Into the Breach to be able to get that little bit of net worth injection. And now that Mobe has gone away from the middle lane, Supreme can kind of just chill here. He's got himself an Arcane Rune that he's going to be able to maybe get a kill off it too.
He's going to try to, but unfortunately for him, Mobe came immediately back from the triangle. He's actually trying to go reach for a kill onto Supreme. Merlin will pop the disruption. That might not actually save anybody's lives here, as Mobe a little bit too tanky right now to deal with. At the same time, Alex gets jumped on by Supreme. And without the life of the techies, maybe Mobe feels playing 1v3 is a bit too far. He will retreat from the area. ITB, honestly happy to let him go. So one quick pickup. Yet more gold in the coffers of Supreme. And he's about to catch up to the PL, so might not be spending that much time at the bottom of the net worth core charts for that much longer.
Yeah, I think obviously the solo kill was something that you're a little, sad about. But LeBron forced an Omni. Okay, I was gonna say if LeBron forced Nande to Omni there, he's like, yeah, that's kind of worth. But Nande knew his limits, knew what he needed to do, and got that one done. But yeah, I think that the only real blip for Supreme was, that solo kill, but he really recovered really well. He made a good rotation with his first action rune. He was able to catch out Mobe, who was farming a little bit too aggressively, and now he's just gotten to the point where things are starting to stabilize, right? Like, he's not all too far behind on the net worth. The thing is, for me, is these PLs going for the early Aghanim Scepter as their kind of farming item means that Little Pleb's going to be a little ways away from actually joining a lot of these fights, and
yep.
Get these fights early.
Speaking of fights, one is happening top onto Nande. They pop the first global silence of the game in tandem with the Primal Roar, and they just quickly demolish the Juggernaut. Okay, quick kill, tier 1 tower taken. Mobe comes back middle to defend that tier 1, and PL is bottom, ensuring Shibe doesn't get more damage out onto this tier 2. Not only a cheap kill to pick up that Juggernaut, but given what else they're getting on the map here, Fluke definitely seems worth it.
Yeah, I really thought they were going to stick Nande bottom side just for him to get that Battle Fury, and they were going to put Zibe top, but they make the rotation with Nande and he pays for it. Obey.
Supreme is in a little bit of danger. Shibe thinking about propping off the RP. Nande also coming close to the mix, has Omni Slash ready to go if needed. However, unfortunately for them, Mobe too far away, so Nande will have to content himself with just farming these stacks. Alex does get dragged back in by the spells of both Respect and Supreme, but they don't have the damage to finish him off just yet, especially not with Mobe waiting in the wings. But oh my god, look at this. Look at Nande. This is so juicy. Empower, even before you get the Battle Fury, you get to just cleave through these stacks. This feels so nice if you're Juggernaut right now. So 6k net worth, you should get like what, 6.4 after this? This is so cool.
Yeah. So he's going to have his entire Battle Fury coming out to him. So, you're obviously going to have Empower when Zibe is close to you. But having that Battle Fury naturally by yourself just means that your farming speed is going to be so fast. You basically only really have to click one of these units instead of all of them. So Nande now wants to try and clear out this Ancient stack. And back when he has a Battle Fury, before Little Pleb's even sniffing an Aghanim Scepter, is kind of interesting for me because Little Pleb, he's not going to farm as fast as this Jug. Like, this Jug is giga farming right now. And the fact that he just doesn't have stacks either to fall back to means that it's not like Little Pleb is going to accelerate once he gets his Axe as well.
Yep. Top lane, they're going to be going on to Waiter now on his Beastmaster. Merlin already had thrown in the Demonic Purge. It's good enough to slow him down. They even commit the... I don't know if RP is necessary for this, but I suppose they don't really want to do much else on the map right now. We're not going to be playing aggressively into any of these towers until we have more items. I suppose it is acceptable, and it's always very nice to kill the enemy offlaner.
Yeah, you get a little bit of an itchy trigger finger when you're playing offlane mag, right? Because you're like, I want to use RP, and he was thinking about using it before against Mobe, but I mean, if you want to be really nitpicky, and I know there's some Redditors in chat that's like, well, actually, he definitely could have killed him. But I mean, just use the RP, man. It looks cooler when it's on cooldown, anyways. Get it done.
By the way, this Juggernaut with this Battle Fury timing, it came at 13 minutes 15 seconds. That puts him, Fluke, right? This is actually an astonishing stat. That puts him in the top 150 of Juggernaut Battle Furies all time. And there have been 2,028 of that item bought across the years. So, fairly significant calm farm coming in from Nande. And honestly, Nande, you know, I would love to know what the story is between himself and his former lineup, because, dude, I can't imagine why they let him go. Like, Monaspa looked so good when they had Nande in the crew. Why things change, we will never know. But right now, ITB all smoked up. Supreme running with respect. LeBron is a little bit alone in the mid lane, but he does have the global silence, so it's not the easiest kill to pull off. And they have zero vision aggressively from the side of ITB, so it doesn't look like the smoke is going to pay off.
Yeah, they're not going to connect with anybody just yet, but Mobe is here. How much HP does he have? He's got 2.3k with an Octa ring. Like, he is such a hard kill, man. And I think Into the Breach understand that they don't want to go anywhere near the Timber. I would love to see them try and smoke up as 3 heroes with the next RP and try and get themselves a kill onto Little Pleb. Because if you kind of just leave him to his own devices, he's going to eventually turn into a Phantom Lancer. And as we said in the draft, it's hard for your supports to deal with him.
Top lane, one of those supports that's going to struggle against PL is the Shadow Demon. He will give up his life. LeBron will snag away some additional intel off of his corpse. Thanks to you very much. The more important thing, though, is that middle lane, they're jumping onto Mobe. I don't know if they have the damage to kill him, but they're going to try. RP committed. They drag him back. Nande commits the GG slash, and they will be able to bring him down. And they draw out the global silence. That is huge. Mid lane, low pleb is here as well. But without the global, maybe this is not the smartest fight. That being said, Shibe, very low on the HP. So he's a very tempting target. Low pleb, peppering him with some Phantom Lances. And the Spirit Lancer is doing a lot of damage. Arcane Curse as well, bringing him so low. Shibe is almost dead, 200 HP, but nobody's close enough to make the full dive. So this Magnus will end up being able to live.
Yeah, that was oofed at maximum for Mr. LeBron right there. That was a little too late on the global silence. Was trying to save his buddy and Mobe, but when you get Omni Slash like that, like you're dead. You've only got 2 levels in the reactive armor as well, so you're not going to be able to deal with all of that extra damage that comes in from the Juggernaut. Like he's level 13 on Nande. Like he is just skyrocketing. He is absolutely owning right now, doing a really good job. And exactly as I said, right? Like I really felt like the next RP should have been used to kill either Mobe or Little Pleb. They just needed to kill one of those 2 cores to kind of stunt their growth a little bit, because they're the ones with the Jug and the Battle Fury, and they've got Empower. So like they're more than happy to keep these farms going, and they're going to have a lot of damage in these team fights too. But the question is, who feels like they're going to be more confident into the mid game? It seems like Wooter's building this Aghanim Scepter build, so he's going a little bit later. Little Pleb's going to go into the natural diffusal build after he's farming out of the Aghanim Scepter. Like Mobe's is going to be Mobe, like he's going to be a tank. So the question is, who feels like they have enough damage in the mid game? And I think it could just all come down to the jump. Like, what does the roll look like? Does it get saved by disruption? Does the RP hit onto multiple people, and do they get a sick like Omni Slash off the back of that? It's going to be a real question. And from the trajectory that we're going right now with Nande, he is going to kind of eclipse all of the cores on the side of Ancient Tribe and probably have like a 1.5 item advantage when that mid game does come around, as you know, barring him completely feeding out of his brain. So It's looking pretty good for Into the Breach, even though that they will have a PL problem later. I think they have some answers for it, and they can obviously itemize for it as well.
Yeah. Nande. Do you remember back in 201? There was that one game that you and I did together where he played PA. And at the time, PA wasn't a great hero. And we were like, let's see where this is go. We don't have that much faith in it. And then he went like some bonkers ridiculous score, some like 18-2 or something like this. So
was that also a comeback game as well? On the
it was a comeback game. Yes,
yeah,
it was a comeback game. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember having flashbacks to every PA game where you're like, oh, this game's going fine. PA's not doing much. And then you just get like Deso. And he went like Rapier as well and stuff like that. And he just absolutely obliterated people. Yeah. Yeah, that was I mean, there were so many different Nane performances that I remember from that tour. Is more
that is
one that I was really astonished with, but yeah, that PA one definitely sticks out as like, yeah, okay, this guy's legit. Like he's a tier 1 carry player.
Yep. Hell, even when they were still in Div 1 with Monaspa, there was a game they had against, was it Team Liquid or Game and Gladiators? And he played Drow, Nature's Prophet, and I want to say Morphling that series. And throughout every game, even though they lost the series, he was decidedly the best player in the lobby. So if there's anybody who can make a garbage hero like Juggernaut work, it's probably going to be this guy. As mid lane gets taken away by Mobe, Ancient Tribe trying to open up some map control for themselves. We still don't have the PL ready to actually contest the map. He has the Aghanim Scepter, but until you have Diffusal, Manta, maybe Heart, I think Lil Pleb should still be better served staying as far away from the enemy as humanly possible.
Yeah, especially when you see this kind of item spike for Supreme as well as Zibe, right? Like they've got the double Echo Saber, and they're very, very hard to contest in a lot of these scenarios because they're universal heroes. So not only are they extremely tanky, they also do a shitload of damage, and they've got Empower to back them up as well. So I think for Little Pleb, he's just kind of bide his time, and if he ever does get an opportunity to join a fight, I would say yes, do it. Because with Aghanim Scepter, you can kind of poke and prod a little bit around some of these objectives and be really annoying, especially when you have Diffuse a lot. Like it's a very annoying item timing for these supports to deal with because you're just getting constantly hit by multiple PL illusions, and he's not even actually committing with his real hero. But as long as he can stay away from the Void Spirit and the Magnus for a long enough time, I think they should be happy with how this game is going. But they still need Mobe and Wuda to really start to get a lot of pressure on these objectives, because without them, then you're kind of just sitting back and waiting for your PL, and then it becomes pretty easy for Into the Breach to just jump in, RP the PL, and then Omni slash him, and then you kind of just like, okay, game's over.
Also, what's kind of scary is that both Supreme and Shebe, as you mentioned, they have Echo Sabers, but they're also finishing Manta Styles, which means that we have a way past the global silence. And speaking of the global, LeBron quickly getting picked off in this mid lane by Supreme and Respect. They will make the cherry on top by grabbing the tier 1 tower. However, questions should be asked, where are the Radiant side? And you know where they're off? Look, they're inside the Roshan pit. They're trying to siege through the Sages. However, ITB, they have an awareness that, wait a second, why wouldn't they defend mid? They must be trying an objective. So now a fight might be on here around this Roshan pit. Shebe doesn't have a Blink Dagger, but with Nande being here as well, with level 2 Omni Slash, not a favorable place to be for Ancient Tribe, with only half their roster being here.
Very tough fight because PL's 3 levels behind Nande. He's only level 13 and Nande's level 16.
What? How?
He's just been farming stacks, man. He's literally just been hitting creeps, and creeps give a lot more experience, and Little Pleb is just falling behind. And this is what I talked about. Like, it's going to get to this point where look how far ahead Nande is. He's like almost 4,000 gold ahead of them. So that's like about an item.
Let's see if he can leverage that though. In this fight, he can't move freely through here, Fluke, because they have these wards down and they have the mines on the ground. Global Silence will be popped, but they haven't killed anybody during the duration. This is a big problem for the Ancient Tribe lineup. Mobe, he gets caught out first. Disruption will be onto him, 8 the Remnant back, and they kill him off without committing any ultimates for this. At the same time, Nande almost died to Waiter in the gang, and he's super low. The blast off will be there, but he gets off the GG slash first, killing off the techies, but he's so low. Nande will eventually die. Wild Axe is being thrown in by Waiter with all these PL illusions are now starting to turn this fight. It's a triple kill for Mobe as he wants to go further into the engagement. This buyback on the Timbersaw has been instrumental for their team fight success. but they need to at least get Supreme. The Whirling Death and Timber Chain will miss. Aether Remnant pulling back the Timbersaw. Last word getting dispelled by the Mantis style. Mobe, Chakram ready again in 2 seconds. They really want this Void Spirit. Timber Chain through. One more right click and they get him. LeBron steals away some intel in the process. And ITB end up losing 4 heroes, technically 5, because they had to buy back on the Rubik. And it was an expensive buyback on the Timbersaw, but wow, was it worth it for Mobe in this game.
Yeah, that was a sick buyback from Mobe, understanding that was a fight they were willing to take. But again, just a misused global. The one issue that they have here for Ancient Tribes, they don't have a blink on their Beastmaster, right? Like, they pop global, and then into the breach is like, okay, this is a good time for us to fight. They go directly here onto Mobe, and they just blow him up. He doesn't really get to do much, but this separates Nande. This is the one gripe that I had with his decision-making was he was a little bit overzealous, but look at how sick that Omni/Dodge was, and then eventually he just gets caught out by the final Spirit Lance, and Little Pleb's able to pick him up, and that just means that this fight starts getting harder and harder for them to play around with because they don't have enough damage to kill Mobe anymore. They just get constantly chased out. Yes, they had the buyback from Respect, but you're a Rubik and you're kind of walking back into that fight and you weren't really able to do much, so Mobe gets a little bit of gold back from his buyback. They do get the kill onto Nande, which is massive for them. And I think the biggest thing is they just got so much experience out of it. Like, look at how many levels Mobe got out of it. He got 2 levels out of that entire fight. Like, he was level 13 when it started, and he ends at level 15. So now it means that they're able to walk into Roche because they know that there's no RP for them to play around with. There's no Omni/. And they will be able to finish what they did start. And Mobe's at the point now. He's got Kai and Sanj at the ready. He's still not ungodly tanky. Like, it's not like he's unkillable. They definitely have ways of dealing with him, but he's gotten to the point now where he's going to do a lot of burst damage, and it's very hard for Nande to fight into a Timbersaw when Omnislash is down and when Spin's down. And that's why I talked about Into the Breach. I feel like they need to get big kills in RP. And that time around, they didn't kill the PL during RP, and then it just meant that Nande went down, and I think that's just going to be the tale of the rest of this game is how much damage do they do inside of the RP, and what do they do around those big cooldowns? Because without them, they can just get kind of slowly chipped away at. And Timbersaw loves those long engagements where he's not completely focused and just is able to do a lot of burst damage and just do a lot of damage in these fights in general.
Bro, look at Nande. Nande, I've been gassing you up the whole game, fam, but this is a mistake. Butterfly is too soon. Nullifier must come first, brother. I can understand the Butterfly. It'll help a lot against the PL, against some of this Beastmaster, but we have to consider Beastmaster didn't go Helm of the Overlord. He went for the Drums of Slum. So his influence in the fight isn't going to come from individual unit-based damage. Mostly going to come from wild axes and banging on the drums. Low Pleb can still spam you with the Ags. Doesn't have to buy MKB to be effective. And Butterfly does literally nothing against Timbersaw. Literally, less than nothing. Bro, please buy Nullifier, please. I need you to buy Nullifier, Nande. This item will honestly change the entire game for them, Fluke, and make it so much easier for him to be effective in these fights.
Yeah, it really just puts the onus back onto Ancient Tribe as well, right? Trying to play around the Nullifier. And I think that's where Butterfly really hasn't sat well with me in a lot of these fights. Yeah, it's like when you're playing into a lot of these character carry matchups, you're like, oh, but I'm forcing them to buy an MKB, but as you said, like, look at the damage that's around him. It's not like Little Pleb is all their damage right now. Little Pleb is just going to be in these fights and peppering away. Whereas a lot of the damage is going to come from the axes and the Drums of Slum as well as Mobe. And the Butterfly really doesn't help you with that. I mean, worst case, if you wanted to go something before he got the Nullifier, try it is something like a Skadi. So you're not the one that's getting peppered out. So you're the one with the HP to try and play around with. Yep.
Fully agreed. Mobe now picks up a Blink Dagger for himself on this Timbersaw. Still playing with this Aegis of the Immortal. And it looks like Ancient Tribe want to start making a push happen down bottom. The Juggernaut was farming the area, but Nande wise enough to retreat in time. But the Tier 1 tower should be their next port of call. Feels like it's going to be a farming Aegis overall. And Ancient Tribe going to be content with this. Feeling like they are probably favored for scaling into the late game. And despite the fact that the enemy team has Void Spirit, Magnus, and Juggernaut, honestly hard to disagree with them on their assessment about being safe into the late game. But middle, LeBron could be in trouble here. Supreme really wants to try and find this job, goes directly in. Global Silence will be there. Mansa to dispel it, but the Primal Roar out onto the Void Spirit. Where's the follow-up though? Alex able to find the blast off, but the Omni Slash will emerge from Nande, going on to Alex, and the Techies will be dead. But that means there's no more Omni Slash now. Nande, surrounded by these illusions from the PL, needs to be able to flee away from this fight. The Magnus also got picked off elsewhere in the engagement. And now there's no more spin. Nande needs to run. Respect puts his own life on the table. And they will take it. Double kill for the Timbersaw. ITB, they went in hoping to try and find something favorable with that engagement. And it's not over just yet. Mobe found Supreme, forcing him to use both Astral Steps just to get away to safety. Man, this is very depressing, Fluke. You find what you think is going to be a quick, easy catch. Not only do you not manage to find that kill, you end up being forced to retreat and you lose a core Magnus in the process after he uses RP.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm going to keep saying it every time these fights go off. The Omni Slash and the RP just didn't hit enough. The Omni Slash got soaked up by a lot of these illusions. It was only really Alex who copped the raw end of the stick, and with an Omni Slash just killing a Techies, I mean, you're feeling pretty bad if that's the way that fight goes. They're able to do a really good job at just forcing Supreme to have to back out, and that's kind of what happens with Void Spirit. Sometimes if you don't have the HP to feel safe, it's very hard for you to engage into a fight because you have to commit your whole body, whereas some of the other spirits, they're a little bit more slippery in the way that they play around. So it is hard for Supreme to get into these fights if he's not full HP, and you know, Little Pleb just didn't have to deal with the Juggernaut at all. And Zibe being completely sent to the sidelines meant that it was just a very free team fight for Ancient Tribe. And now it's getting to the point where you've got Mantisol that's about to be on the way here for Little Pleb, so he's starting to hit some timings. But the thing for me is Mobe going this like shotgun Timbersaw build. We saw that a few months ago, right? Where it's like a lot of these Timbersaws would just go Kaya Sanj into Blink, and you just blink on top of somebody, you chakram them, and you Whirling Death and chain them, and that's like, you know, 1500 magic damage instantaneously on a lot of these heroes. And it's very hard to play this game when Zibe gets bursted so fast, when Supreme gets bursted so fast, and yeah, it's just a rough set of team fights if they don't get a clean initiation on into the breach.
Yep. You mentioned earlier on in the game how good Manta style can be into Juggernaut. And we saw a low player, he had queued up hot earlier, but he realized, he was like, wait a second. The only way I die is if I get RP'd and hit with a full GG slash. If I just go Manta, I'll have enough stats to either dissuade them from using GG slash or just be tanky enough to survive the initial salvo. And then once I get hot, then I'm just straight up unkillable. And right now, ITB, they just pick up the butterfly for Nande not too long ago, but they need so many more items. He needs his nullifier. This Void Spirit absolutely needs Silver Edge for this game. But where does Magnus go, brother? He's gotten himself a Blink Dagger queued up, and I suppose that's going to make a big difference, but I don't know, man. It's just still so rough to play into because you go Blink, RP, they pop Global. You have to use all three of your Manta styles at once to get past the Global. And then that makes the fight so much easier for Timbersaw to come in afterwards. Little Pleb can clean up afterwards. How do you approach these fights right now from ITB side?
Yeah, it's really rough. I think that last fight would have been much better if Zibe had his Mantisol. He was pretty close to it, but they just wanted to push the envelope a little bit more. So maybe now with the Manta, they feel okay with it, but man, the thing is, like, who do you RP? Do you RP Little Pleb, and then, you know, Mobe goes ham? Do you RP Mobe and hope that you just kill him in an Omni Slash and feel like that you've got enough damage to deal with the PL as the fight goes on? I probably would say that's the best way to go, because Mobe is much more mobile than what Little Pleb's going to be. So if you kind of lock down the Timbersaw and you blow him up, then that alleviates a bit of pressure from your backline, and alleviates a bit of pressure on your Void Spirit too, who can do a lot of work against the Fatal Manta. But the counter engage from Ancient Tribe is going to be massive. Global, Techies can just jump in, Beastmaster can blink raw, Mobe is going to be able to join the fight. If Little Pleb's the one that's not getting RP'd, he can just chip away with these Spirit Lancers. So I'm going to say my answer is going to be 5-man RP. That's
sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically the win condition for ITB is 5-man RP. Nande has to be 7 slotted on the Juggernaut. Yeah. We need like 3 more items on Supreme. He has to also get Astral Step through all of those heroes during the RP, and all of them must be hit by Resonant Pulse. Okay, I see.
Yeah, and then Ancient Tribe also need to disconnect and drop their items on the ground.
Ah, okay. And Merlin has to find 5 Shadow Poison stacks on all 5 heroes, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's simple. When you put it like that, it's pretty straightforward. It's how you win Dota. But, you know, I'm not a rocket scientist or anything. Yeah, it's not like they do need a 5-man RP. I think they just need to be very selective about how they RP, and they need to be not scared of using everything to kill a core for their issue. Like, they've got a lot of damage with their right clickers, right? I think they just need to make sure that they secure one of these kills. Like, Silencer is a non-issue after you deal with global silence. Techies can be an issue because he just does a lot of magic damage, but again, he's very squishy. You get on top of Techies, he just dies most of the time. And the Beastmaster can do a lot of damage for you, so it's all about trying to find one of these.
Oh my god, what a reveal, dude. Mobe just got Hex on the Timbersaw. They reveal it onto this Magnus during the smoke. They catch him. And the thing is about this catch, you know why it's so excellent, Fluke? Not only do they catch him just before he can skew away to safety, they catch him 100 gold away from Blink Dagger, brother. He will not have that item now. It's going to be a lot longer before it's available. They get to reassert entire control. You know how much effort ITB put into controlling this bottom area of the map? And now that all that effort immediately squandered away.
Yeah, that's rough, because they're probably just waiting for that Blink Dagger as well, right? Like, into the breach, they were just out in their farming patterns. They feel like this Blink Dagger on both of their cores can do a lot of work for them. They've got a Blink now on Nande, because that's kind of what I was talking about, right? Like, you can see that they understand that they need to get the RP and the Omnislash to connect together. The Void Spirit can always join with Astral Step, but you need to make sure that Nande as well as Zibe are killing the same target. And now that they have to wait a little bit longer for Zibe to get that Blink Dagger, could just give a little bit of this extra time to Ancient Tribe, but they don't have Roche to contest, which is a big positive. If Roche was up, then, I mean, Into the Breach would be kicking themselves, but they're good to go now.
Yep. They aren't aware that Roche is down, so they are going to make this big smoke, but there is still no blink on the Magnus. There's only blink on the Juggernaut right now. Can they find anybody here? Oh my god. Techies! Damn it! God, I hate this hero. It reveals everything for them now. They jump into the Omnislash and they burst away Alex. Mobe able to Timber Chain away. And now they want to turn themselves onto Supreme. Low play trying to hold the rest of his fight by himself. But he's not tanky enough and he will end up dead to Shibe and the crew. That is a 2 for nothing thus far. They come across Alex trying to TP out. And they'll kill him off to make sure that doesn't happen. A double kill for Nande. There's the gold for the Magnus Blink Dagger. A Roshan to respawn so they get Aegis. My goodness, ITB getting everything they could possibly want. They might even find an extra here. Mobe unable to TP out. The Aether Remnant interrupted. Fluke, they're gonna get 4 heroes off of this. Oh my god. Ancient Tribe were in such a commanding position, but this might have just turned the entire game on its head.
Oh, that was such a ballsy Omnislash too. I really love that from Nande. He just goes in, like, he sees 2 heroes, and he sees 2 important heroes too, right? He sees LeBron and he sees Mobe. So even though that they knew that Global Silence was still going to be in cooldown, they weren't 100% sure when it was coming off cooldown, because it was just about to come off cooldown. So Nande identifies that, he blinks in, instantly Omnislashes onto a LeBron, completely eviscerates him, and then most of it goes on to Mobe. They don't get their kill onto the Timbersaw, but he was lucky enough to bounce onto Little Pleb. So he landed directly in front of Little Pleb after dealing about half of his HP, and then they just up him, and they just say, okay, well, PL's dead, Mobe's half HP, they can't win this fight. And yeah, I mean, Into the Breach, they did that without Blink Dagger on their Magnus, and they just said, all right, Nande, how do you want to do this? And he says, hold my beer. And he just goes in and wins the fight off the back of a sick Omnislash. And now that they have Roche, tier 3s, like, how do Ancient Tribe fight into this? Because they don't have good initiation. If they blink raw Nande, he just gets balled, and that's kind of fight over.
Also, I know I've been critiquing Nande for not buying Nullifier. Part of that was by my belief that this Mobe would be too tanky, but Global Silence will be popped by LeBron. They really want to kill off Supreme at least, but he gets out the base with the Manta style. Nande in the meantime cleaning off the melee racks. Can they kill this Juggernaut? His first life is still available. There is no Omnislash to come out just yet, so he might still die with his first life. Trying to spin himself away. They are defending him, lift back from respect, and they make sure that he's A-okay. Shadow Demon might not be so lucky as Merlin caught in by the PL illusions, and they get the Hex now onto respect. Mobe giving further chase And at least they'll pick up the 2 supports. Stolen Timber Chain doesn't find any trees, sadly, for respect. So that will secure his death. Still, though, they got the melee racks through the mid lane. They did not lose the Juggernaut Aegis. ITB, all of a sudden, Fluke, in a commanding position. And the thing I was going to say about Nande, him not butting Nihilify, that's predicated on Mobe being tankier than he is. But for some reason, this Timbersaw, when he gets hit by this GG slash, not feeling tanky whatsoever. Maybe it's because Mobe has been spending so much time away from creep waves that every fight feels like it started when he has no reactive armor stacks ready to go for the fight.
Yeah, he's also gone for a much more damage-focused build as well here on Mobe, like with the the Hex and the Blink Dagger and the Kaya Sange. So he has a decent amount of HP, but he just doesn't have that impossible to kill kind of armor stuff, right? Like usually when we see these Timbersaws that want to go raw tank, you see like Shivas and the Ag Scepter and the Octarine and all that kind of stuff. But he's much more focused on being that mid hero that does a lot of magic damage and has a lot of control. So Mobe is very, very susceptible. And as you said, like obviously if they start out this fight and Mobe just has no reactive armor stacks, he's just going to get melted either way. So I wouldn't hate to see him fall back for an armor item itself. Maybe a Shivers on Mobe, but again, Nande, he's just gotten to such a point now where he is a very, very scary hero. Skardy's online. He's going to have Swift Blink soon in like, what, 1,200 gold, which he's going to be able to farm in a flash. So Nande getting very, very scary. I thought maybe he was going to overstep his bounds, but I mean, this is the reason why Nande is like a top tier carry, and I'm sitting here talking about him because knew his limits, almost lost the Aegis, but was able to be saved in time by Into the Breach. And even though it's only 4,000 gold here, Snare, it feels much more than that. And this is something that I've been noticing a lot in competitive Dota is sometimes the net worth can really lie to you because the feeling of the game feels like it's gone completely in the favor of Into the Breach. It feels like they're like 20k ahead. This Juggernaut is such a scary hero with Omni Slash, and Ancient Tribe just haven't been able to be the monsters. But yeah, it's just gotten to the point now where I definitely feel like Ancient Tribe are feeling the squeeze, right?
I fully agree with you. There have been games that are 20k in favor of one team that feel dead even. And then there's games like this where it's a mere 4k. But ITB feel massively ascendant right now. Nande is obscenely farmed. He has a Swift Blink flying in off the courier right now. This will mean he doesn't have buyback though. And there's only 20 seconds left for this Aegis. So they need to be a little bit careful about this push from ITB. But that is all waiting on how Ancient Tribe decide to defend this. Tier 3 tower getting rinsed out by Nande. Look how much damage he's doing on this Juggernaut. My goodness. Tier 3 tower gone. Rain Drag's about to follow. Goes into the spin to secure his escape here. And PL throwing in some Aghanim Spirit Lances. Not going to be enough just yet, but the Aegis will now expire. ITB definitely no better to stick around without the protection of the second life for Nande. As they leave though, Ancient Tribe can't necessarily find an inroad. They might decide to smoke here through this mid lane once they clear out this wave. But if they haven't done so by now, they're just giving up map control towards ITB here, Fluke.
Yeah, I really think they should smoke, and again, kind of similar to what ITB had to do before, is just kind of put all their eggs into killing a core basket. They can do what they've done in some of the previous fights, really separate Supreme and Zibe. Maybe they can set their attentions onto Nande, but I mean, with how fat he is now, he's got a Penta-Edge sword. Like, all he has to do is Swift Blink and find someone, and they die. And that's the thing, is like, as long as he's putting his attention onto these high priority targets, he will kill someone.
Ooh, speaking of high priority, they found Supreme! They killed him with the Hex. Shibe tried to go for the RP, but it got dodged by Low Pleb with the young illusions from the PL. Beautiful usage of the doppelganger there. So it's a 1-for-1 though, because they did end up losing Waiter though to the GG slash from Nande. However, if I'm Ancient Tribe, I am ecstatic about this course of events. They need to back off from ITV. Oh my goodness, what a catch. Mobe showing his value here with the Timbersaw, enabling them to stall out the progression from ITB with an amazing catch with the Hex.
Yeah, catching out Supreme was big, right? And that's what they kind of needed to do. They needed to walk out on the map and get themselves a little unfortunate.
Nande! Hex!
They have the damage.
He's gonna get assaulted into. Do they have what it takes to kill him? They stunned him up. There's a defensive disruption which might actually doom him. but he does find a way to blink out to safety. Merlin, not going to be so lucky. Brought down by Mobe, who blinks on top of his face. And additional Spirit Lancers kill off this Rubik for respect. The supports will die, but they're happy to do so if it keeps Nande alive. That was way too close for comfort here, Fluke. And I guess that's sort of proceedings. What's happened in the last 2 minutes sort of show us why it's only a 4K net worth advantage. They still do have what it takes to kill off these heroes if they can find the execution to do so.
Yeah, and that's why this game is on such a nice edge, right? Like, if Nande didn't get that spin-off, I feel like he probably would have copped damage from somewhere and wasn't able to blink outside of the ball. But, you know, he had the spin-off, and that means that he was able to get away scot-free from any of that damage, swift blink away. And this is the issue that I have with Into the Breach's supports. Literally, I don't even think that Rubik... I don't want to say he doesn't have a place in this game, but he's basically a power spot, right? Like, he's using telekinesis to defensively save Nande, and same with Shadow Demon, right? Like, you're just balling Nande and just throwing a defensive Shadow Purge on him, like just putting the cleanse on him and hoping that it's able to win you the team fight, because these supports really do not do much into this little pleb core.
Oh no! RP from Shibe, but he misses the skewer back! That being said, Fluke, they did draw out the global silence. So both teams have expended a pretty big ultimate for effectively nothing. That means the upcoming fight is going to be extra exciting. Smoke up on 3 heroes from Ancient Tribe. They're looking for the potential wrap. There is a Blink Dagger on this Beastmaster. So if they can find one of the key heroes, this could be huge. Shiva's God scouts out some of these heroes. 3 of them caught in by the ice. The Arctic, though, not going to give enough of an advantage to try and force a fight. These heroes are a little bit low from the side of ITB. What will they do here? BKB pop now, and Nande goes in. GG slash onto Mobe, who jumped in for this fight, and he will end up dead. Buys back, however. Supreme jumping in onto the Brawn. Can't kill off the silencer just yet. Earthwall on the north side of the fight. We do see them going onto these heroes. Respect will end up getting brought down first. But the Primal Roar was thrown in onto Supreme, and the Magnus dies to the Alex jump in with the young blast off. Nande eventually taken out by Low Pleb and Mobe as they surround the Juggernaut, ensure he has no allies around him, and then kill him off. Supreme in trouble now. Needs Shibe to save his life. Low Pleb on half HP, but he has a Heart of Tarask. If he can survive long enough, his health will come back. Shibe skewering forward. Arctic Blast coming in from Mobe. That enables them to kill off the Magnus. A triple kill for Mobe. Low Pleb still alive. Supreme really wanted to kill him, but he can't manage to do it. Instead, he gives away an Ultra to Mobe, and Mobe is coming. Mobe, you know what he wants. Give him the Rampage. He gets it, baby. 5 heroes all dead. That felt like they died several times over because there were 2 buybacks and they still all die. 7 will fall in the end. Ancient Tribe, yes, they lose 5 themselves, but hashtag worth for a fight like that.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is the reason why a lot of people are very scared about fighting at the Radiant Roche area. There was a buyback coming in from Mobe. He was able to TP. I mean, to be fair, he does have boots travel, so he's able to TP to a creep wave. But being able to utilize your buyback properly is the reason why that fighting in this bottom side against the Radiant team is so gosh damn hard. Like, look at the way that this fight went. I thought this was going to be curtains for them. Mobe gets completely Omni-Slash, sent to the Abyss. Zibe lives, gets out, and there was a small moment where I was like, Little Pleb is just getting deleted by Nande. You can just see this fight going. He pops his BKB, so much cleave goes on. And obviously the FPS simulator is absolutely deleting us with this Phantom Lancer and all the stuff that's going on. But he was just able to live long enough. And you want to know why? A nifty little thing that Little Pleb just picked up, the Aghanim Shard on Phantom Lancer. That kept him alive in multiple different parts. He has the Juxtapose, sends him invisible. He was able to get in and out of that fight and was able to heal up just enough with the heart that meant that he was able to survive this next initiation coming in from Supreme. If he didn't have that extra bit of regen coming in from him going invisible and staying away from damage, I don't think he survives there. And definitely we could be looking at a different scenario where maybe they don't lose a full Anorax, maybe they don't lose Roche, and maybe Into the Breach are feeling less bad about losing 7 heroes in a team fight like that.
What a game this has been. They've lost 2 lanes of Rax on Radiant side. ITB lost the lane of Rax themselves now. They also just picked up this Magnums, they gave the upgrade towards the silencer of all heroes. I mean, I suppose they were like, well, Waiter already has Drums of Slum. We already have PL Axe. How much do we really gain out of reactive armor upgrade this game? Not all that much. As a low pleb, just finds and kills respect. Hanging out in the wrong area, buddy. Shouldn't be here.
Did you watch what he was doing? He was sitting inside of the Roche pit for God knows what reason. And Respect was just like kind of meandering around, and he got hit by 2 techies mines, and so he hits the juxtapose invisibility and just walks up to him, and then one thorns him in like 2 taps.
Middle? No? Shibe, why did you go in here? He was looking for an RP, but he just gets hexed and killed. Nande threw in the GG slash already, but Waiter will not die from this. He is still alive. Nande getting stunned up right now, forced to try and spin himself to victory. Alex losing HP, but Nande knows as soon as the spin is over, his life is forfeit, and that is indeed the case. He dies, but Supreme coming in to find some revenge, granting a double kill for the Void Spirit. Merlin trying to TP out. He'll be able to do so. Surprisingly though, it's a 3-for-3 affair. Supreme, he stuck around for too long here, Fluke. Mobe, the Hex came back off cooldown. They get the silence coming in from the Bloodthorn of Lil Pleb. That is going to be yet another kill. Why Supreme stuck around, why Magnus jumped in, I will never know. But Ancient tried, but glad they did, because they mopped them all up and find themselves another team fight victory.
Yeah, just it's so hard now trying to kill Mobe. Once he picked up this Shiva's guard, once he has this overwhelming blink, he's just impossible to kill. And it got to the point where we saw the issues with Into the Breach. They need to get their RP as well as their Omni Slash to hit and do a lot of work for them. The Omni Slash didn't even kill Wuta. He was able to survive out the back of the Pavis as well as his freshly picked up Crimson Guard. And it just... If Omni Slash doesn't take like 1 or 2 calls with it, you feel very bad because Nande has to try and play around his BKB, but you know he has to play around Spin as well, and it's hard for him to deal this extra damage when Little Blood and Mobe are now just impossible for him to kill.
Mobe gets the Hex out onto Shibe, but the Skewer does still drag back the PL into the base. RP will be there as well. And with the buyback from Supreme, they ensure they have enough damage to kill off Lil Pleb. This could not have happened at a better moment. They still actually keep both range and melee racks alive through the mid lane. And ITB hold the base. An expensive hold, but at the end of the day, it still is held. Good times for them. And you know, I want to actually make a small joke here, Fluke. Bro, why doesn't Nande have Nullifier? Go back for it now, bro. Timber's too tanky again. You need the Nullifier.
Oh, I just... Maybe he needs Lincolns, but I don't know if Lincolns is going to help because there's multiple hexes now. I understand why he got BKB because when he the one issue that you have with Juggernaut is your spin is your magic immunity, but you can't auto attack inside of it. Like you're not dealing as much damage as you would if you were just naturally outside of it. So you sometimes in these games you have to go for the BKB just to give you that magic immunity where you can still deal damage and have that man fight going. But it feels like an item slot that he just doesn't want to have right now. Like if he could get away with not having the BKB right now, he definitely would. So you're getting to the point where you're thinking, do I get rid of Battle Fury? Do I get rid of this BKB? Do I go Lincolns? Do I go more damage? And it seems like he's on the train of getting more damage, which I like because I think if he gets hexed in the first place, he's just dead. I don't think like Lincoln's is gonna help because you're just gonna get like Blink Roared or Blink Hex Roared or you know like there's always gonna be something. Like if you Shadow Demon doesn't save you, it doesn't matter if you have Lincoln's or another survivability item. So I like that he's just going screw it. I need to kill as many people as quickly as I can and have this fight going my way. So I do like that build from him. Maybe Nullifier's the go, but I think at this point, if you just get raw dam, then it feels just as good. So.
I'm kind of hoping he does finish off this Divine Rapier that he has queued up right now. This is...
I think he has to.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like there's enough damage otherwise, right?
Yeah.
And Magnus finishes off a BKB. You would really love Magnus to have BKB and Refresher. I feel like that would be amazing. That's what must be frustrating for ITB, right? The fact that for them, they can still look at this game and say, well, we are definitely behind, but there's so many win conditions still available to us. If we get Refresher on Chibi, and we maybe get Refresher on Juggernaut, there's no way, even this PL, or hell, even this Timbersaw, you can survive 1 RP with the Omni Slash, but 2, I don't think that's happening. But that, of course, requires them to get the farm needed for those items, and that requires ATT to not end the game before that point in time. The one only saving grace they have is that there's no Roshan for at least another 2.5 minutes, and it's somewhat unlikely Ancient Tribe will try and broach the high ground without the protection of the Aegis.
Yeah, I think both these teams definitely need an Aegis, so it's going to be very interesting to see how that Roche fight is going to pan out. So Nande is going to go the other trade. This is something that I completely forgot even existed. Swift Slash. So we touched on the fact that Omni Slash is so important to him. If he just gets that small bit of invulnerability, we've seen Nande be able to dodge stuff with Omni Slash in the past. So if he like dodges something sick or just gets that extra little bit of damage, at least positions himself well with Swift Slash, then maybe he kills enough people inside of his Omni Slash for this to be worth. I definitely think you need to be Swift Slash plus Divine at some point. But it was whether or not he wanted Swift Slash first. BKB, Zibe.
BKB on Shibe. He does skewer back. Global Silence was expended by LeBron, but they don't catch anybody else. Mobe blinking. Oh my god, he found the Nande Juggernaut. That's the worst hero. Disruption will be there to save him. Low pleb, can he find the catch? Nande spinning to victory. Does have Blink disabled for now, but he's back up to full HP. What else can he find here from Ancient Tribe? They have already committed the global, but Hex is coming back very, very soon for Mobe, and they have another one on this Beastmaster. Mobe, Timber Chain forward, does get interrupted by the lift back by Respect. There's going to be the Hex out onto the Shadow Demon. Not enough damage to get the kill just yet. So Merlin does have time to throw in the ultimate. At the same time, Supreme caught in with the rest of the lineup. Forced to pop BKB and retreat here. Shibe throws his life away to save Supreme. But at the same time, that means that his team is now short on numbers. They need to run away. Supreme trying to run. He will succeed in doing so, but Respect gets caught. And Supreme gets caught too. Just above the Tormentor. The Void Spirit gets picked off. 2 minutes in the grave without buyback. And Ancient Tribe committed absolutely nothing for this fight here, Fluke. They are all still alive. They still have a cheese for this PL. And they can try and leverage their advantage for some additional buildings because 2 cores are down from ITB without buyback until they respawn.
Yeah, very rough. Very, very rough. They tried to split the fight enough that they could get themselves maybe some of these pickoffs, but that also led to Zibe just never having a really good RP target. And unfortunately for Nande, his Swift Slash as well as Omni Slash combination, Mobe lived through the entire thing. So they don't have that for another 60 seconds, and with Swift Slash and Omni Slash, that's basically like your win condition out the window, and that means that Into the Breach have to just completely disengage. And when the fight goes that poorly, you just get chased down by Little Pleb, who's constantly just peppering you with these Spirit Lancers, and then obviously if he gets on top of you with a Juxtapose, then it's very hard for you to get away from him. Now
very hard to get away from Mobe as well because he has the Hex Blink, and they go on to Merlin, bringing down the Shadow Demon without buyback for himself. 110 seconds in the grave, no buyback. Yeah, Global was committed for it, but LeBron will feel that was an excellent expenditure of said spell. This should lead into them getting tier 4 towers as well. They already have the full megas. Although they have the Magnus back up right now, is there anything they can do here, Fluke?
You just have to Hail Mary. You have to wait 8 seconds so you have Omni Slash and just hope that you get multiple heroes and maybe try and bring them into the fountain.
Let's see what Nande's got. They will skewer back Mobe into the fountain. RPM down for good measure. Let's see if he dies here. Mobe gets the Timber Chain out. He's still alive. He doesn't even die, Fluke. GG is called. The game is over. Ancient Tribe have taken down the Ancient and secured themselves game 1 in this best of 3 affair.
Yeah, it's